Iceman with the first time chat, giving us a lull. Thank you. You should get a sponsorship from Just for Men. For men going gray like you. Mods, ban that person.
There can only be one winner. And you're looking at it. Let's go.
What do we have here? We have Constellar versus what I'm thinking to be Snake Eye. So we are definitely rooting for Lorisor Hajime. Let's do this. We are discarding our Jet Synchron. Does the opposing player have any hand traps whatsoever? They do not, but we have the Finger and Ash ready in case they do. Let's speed this up. Let's get all the way to the ending fields. Come to me. Poplar adding the Divine Temple. Divine Temple setting up with the Oak in the back row. A lot of people are asking, why are they putting Oak in the back row? It is to play around Nibiru because we are activating to equip the flame version to the back row, and at the same time of it activating to summon monsters on the field, which then would make Nibiru activatable, then the flame version would summon. Oak is here. Oak on summon, activate to reborn from the grave. Shokan into our Formula Synchron, draw a card on summon. Drawing into that Bonfire, discarding Bonfire. I'm seeing a lot of people discard Bonfire, set Bonfire in the back row, not even an additional copy, just getting rid of it. We got the Amblo Whale, send the back row and itself come forth and summon from the deck, and we are set up. There is no elf here, unfortunately. Yep, we're not playing that. But we have the Formula Synchron into Baron de Flor. We have Masquerina into an Apollo USA, which will probably be about 4 negates, so it's about 5 disruption. Plus, we have the Promethean Princess for a 6th disruption. We got a Finger, we got an Ash, we have a Maxi in addition to our main 6 disruptions. Can Lorisor play through it? Hopefully. Reinforce our hand with a Deneb. Deneb is here. Zephyr Providence is going to be activating to search our deck as the Ash negates. Now, can Decalled By be disruptive to any of our core plays of Constellar? We are activating the Constellar Tellarknights, which, on activation, you can special summon a Tellarknight from your hand or grave. So that was good timing of that Maxi. Activating the Deneb. We're going to use the Divine Temple to special summon the Masquerina, not using the Flame Burge instead. We're ready for that Apollo USA play. Potentially even making a Goddess. So with Formula Synchron, we're going to be making a Baron de Flor to trigger the Flame Burge to reborn 2 monsters from the grave, and then the Masquerina is going to have a nice fat field to link up with as we have our Omni Negate plus the Promethean Princess waiting in the graveyard. Let's resolve this up. Summon, summon, summon. Come forth, come to us, get searching. All right. Now, we have, what the heck is this doing? The Zephyr Thubin is going to be targeting a monster, and one face-up card the opponent controls, destroy them. So Baron de Flor is about to get destroyed, being forced to negate. Using up that Omni Negate when we much would have rather saved it for something better. Lirin. Now, Lirin in the TCG, let me know if you think this is stupid or good. Lirin would chainlink block Baron de Flor from even being able to negate the Zephyr Thubin. You would not be able to. I would summon, I would target, you'd be like Baron de Flor negate, I'd be like, hold up, I chainlink block with Lirin, and now you can't Baron de Flor. Now Baron de Flor could negate the Lirin instead, but then the Baron de Flor dies. Masquerina, Masquerade and OCG, it works the same as you see here, where you could not chainlink block from the hand. Apollo USA, which is indestructible by card effects, by the way. If we had an elf, the Baron de Flor would have not even been targetable. Lirin being special summoned, we may be using our Promethean Princess. We're going to Apollo USA instead, negate. Now, could we Princess and negate this? No, we would be chain link blocking our own Apollo USA from being able to negate the Lirin. So you do have to choose. Do we negate or do we pop? Caduceus, attempting to special summon this card from the hand. That is a hard once per turn, I believe. Control Constellar. Yup, we're out. We out of here. Top tier, tier 1, teetering on tier 0. Snake Eye crushing Constellar. But we have a game 3. Now, what happened in game 1? It was off screen. Reinforcing the army. Ash is going to negate. Is Ash on reinforcing the army good against any deck? Should you always be waiting? Most decks generally have some sort of main combo play that interacts with the deck, which you would rather save your Ash for. We got our Caduceus. Caduceus could banish in the deck to then copy the effect of what we banished, searching our deck for another Caduceus, mini Caduceus. Caduceus special summon, add from our deck Constellar Tellarknights, which could special summon a Tellarknight from our hand or grave. As we then, whoa, new card, Xyz Armor Fortress. Xyz Armor Fortress is going to be searching for Armored Xyz and Full Armored Xyz. Huh? This is interesting. Reborning the Caduceus from the graveyard to then overlay into an M7. Target the M7, turn it into a Deltros. Deltros, if sent to the grave, will reborn from the deck. In Altair will then reborn from the grave our Deltros. We got Cerberus. Okay, we're just linking up. We're just making room, just getting into the graveyard. Reborn the Deltros. Now, we're making an Apollo USA, triggering the Deltros again. Activate, reborn from the grave, or I should say summon from the deck, that is. A nuke, sending from the deck to the grave an Alteran, which is going to be disruption during the opponent's turn. I don't know what this is. What the heck did we just do? Target a face-up you control, equip that monster from your graveyard to the monster on the field as an equip card. Okay, we equipped it. Oh, that gets it back on the field and back on the grave to trigger again. Holy moly. That's abuse. That is wild. Durendal is essentially an Omni Negate. If they activate a monster effect or a spell or trap card, you negate. All right? So we got Deltros triggering, reborn from the deck, Sirius. Alteran being triggered, so I think we're losing out on disruption by summoning it early. Impermanence onto the Apollo to lose out on 3 of our disruptions. Boom, deleted. So now we have Durendal. And we have Durendal, because Alteran is being summoned early. If this card's summoned, you can target cards in the field to then get pop-in. Okay, we're targeting the Constellar Tellarknights to pop it. We're going to full armored Xyz. Xyzing them into a Dweller. Dweller's going to turn off the opponent's graveyard, and against Snake Eyes, that's a big deal. So there we go. Graveyard is turned off through Dweller. We have a Durendal negate. When do we Durendal negate? In order to negate, so the Poplar would activate right now, but it cannot. It's turned off. Durendal is activating right here, right now. Destroy a spell and trap card instead of the actual effect of the original Sinful to summon from the deck. And that's it. We're good. That's all we need. Completely stopped. Very nicely done. Dweller again turning off the graveyard from activating. To battle we go. We have the Dark Knight Lancer recycling the Armored Xyz in the graveyard back to our hand to equip the Deltros onto the Dark Knight Lancer. It just like that. Wait, it's activating. It's doing something. It's gonna, 6,100 attack. Lethal damage. Armored Xyz, Tellarknights. Insane plays with the Deltros continually being equipped, resent to the graveyard, summoned from the deck. Very nicely done. The synergy is incredible. Do the tournament on Omega. If I were to do Omega tournaments, it would be with the OCG. What? Lost, set tragedy. Well, Retribution does nothing. Albaz does nothing. Thrust only if the opponent activated a monster effect. Yeah, we have an absolute nothing hand. Nothing. 60 card deck. We did brick. That is unfortunate. Banishing 6 to dig deep off the top of the deck. The Ash Blossom Fiend are in the shop until Thursday. Thursday, they're gone. I only have 1 pair of feet. Should I get 2 more? I don't know. I've already spent a lot of gems on that pack to not get a second and third copy. It's ridiculous. We have Battlin Boxer Chief allowing the additional summon as we now make a Dempsey. Dempsey on summon, searching our deck for the cross counter. We now have the Sakitama additionally summoning to then make a, holy moly, Battlin Boxer Nova Kaiser. Nova Kaiser is going to attach a material from the graveyard at 2,600 attack, wiping out the Tragedy, which does not activate when sent to the grave by battle. We are then using the Dempsey to, what the heck was that? Dempsey is going to make it so your Battlin Boxers cannot be targeted, detach a material from any monster we control. To get the Chief second into the graveyard allows us to then activate our Flame Veil counter. So we're going to be able to negate any spell or trap card. We're going to be able to negate any monster effect. And we're going to be able to make our field untargetable. And I don't know what this card does. Does this have any disruption? When a card you control is destroyed, you could then special summon them back on the field. Okay, so about 2 disruption, plus the Ash. So we'll just count the Ash. Untargetable fields. When detached, we're going to be adding the Chief Second in the graveyard back to our hand. Okay, very nice. We have our spell, card negate, and our monster negate. We can negate that Albaz, but can we? There's a lost on the field, so let's check the ruling on this card real quick. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate the activation, but this says you cannot negate the activation of a card that's fusion summoning. So this does not work. Okay, we're gonna get fusion. Let's go. Mirror Jade's coming. Pop it. Didn't negate it. Can't negate it. That's just how Branded Lost works. We now have Mirror Jade. Now the Flame Veil counter should still be activatable here. We don't need a monster. And by here, I didn't mean in response to Lost. Of course, you cannot activate it in response to Lost. It also only works on the activation of the card, not the effect. This is where we can negate. As you were saying, banish in the graveyard, negate that thrust. Now, thrust was not thrusting a card into the hand. It was something we're going to put into the back row. That'll we go. Let's go, let's go. We have that non-target monster banish ready. Titan clad during the end phase, getting that Quem out onto the field, sending a Branded Fusion from the deck to the grave to then add it back to the hand with through the effect of our Retribution. We are ready. So our disruptions are non-target monster banish plus a monster negates, and that's it. 2 disruption. Let's go. Chief Second with the additional summon into the uppercut, grabbing the promoter as you now make Dempsey. Dempsey is here to get negated by the Mercurier. No search for you. We have Mirror Jade ready to non-target monster banish. When do we get banished? To battle we go. On the attack of the Quem, we are going to be banishing that Dempsey off the field, and we now have no more disruption. That's it. Mercurier is a hard once per turn, but it is activatable while on the field, so it would be activatable during the next turn. Just like that, the unfortunate situation of Branded Lost negating, not negating, but making it so the activation of our card could not be negated by your negate. That, yeah, we really need to save that. That is unfortunate. Now, someone may be thinking, oh, it could have been used on Mirror Jade. It could, but it also could not. If the Mirror Jade, in response to its own summon, activated to non-target monster banish, they would not be able to respond to that summon due to Branded Lost. So if played correctly, they still would have won. We got the Chief Second equipping onto it to search our deck, activating our Dimension Shifter before the Durendal is sent to the graveyard. Any card sent to the grave will now be banished. Grabbing our Uppercutter. Very good. Chief Second with the additional summon. Uppercutter searching our deck for the Flame Veil counter for the spell and trap card negate. As we then make Dempsey. Dempsey will now be searching for our monster negate. So a very simple spell and trap card negate plus monster negate. We're good. Now the Dempsey could be destroyed by battle, which would turn off our monster negate. That is an issue. We do need a monster on the field in order to have that part of the negate. Straight to battle phase, but it's in the name. They are all about Battlin. Battlin boxers. They wanted you to battle to then do the effect of the Chief Second, which states, when the opponent declares an attack, you special summon this, negate the attack, then banish that monster or any monster on the field. Damn. That's a non-target monster banish. Oh, it's just until the end phase? That's kind of unfortunate. I mean, it did seem pretty good, but we do need the battle effects to be great, don't we? Are we ready for Dempsey? Number 2, we have a monster negate ready for that Nibiru. We got the Flame Veil counter ready to negate the Branded in red, which is not even activatable. This is not looking good for Branded whatsoever. Nibiru is here, but we know they have the monster negate. It's there. It was searched for. It's public knowledge. Negate the Nibiru by destroying the Dempsey to then also summon from the extra deck a Nova Kaiser. We have 8,300 damage on the field versus a Serenir. Do we have lethal? We're going to equip 2,500. To battle we go, suiciding with the Serenir, triggering the Nova Kaiser here. When destroyed, we could then reborn the materials back onto the field. Target level 4 lower battling boxes monster in your graveyard up to the number of materials this card had. Just like that. That suicide was perfect. That's exactly what we needed in order to have lethal damage. Battling Boxer defeating Branded Despia. Yes. I love to see it. Very happy about that. Congratulations, Slouser. Thank you, Lee, for being in the tournament also. Let's keep on going. We have the Mikanko versus Super Heavy Samurai, which is seeing quite the rise at the moment. Even after getting hit by the ban list, everyone is whipping them out. Are you ready? Begin. Draw on Lockbird since you have added a card from the deck to your hand. No more adding for the rest of the turn. And just like that, what was the full chain of that play? We activated, oh my gosh, so what did we do? We Ohima'd, we Gamma'd, we Max Seed, we negated the Max Seed, we then fingered the Ash so the Max Seed would not get negated, so then we just draw one. The Ohime still got destroyed by the Gamma. Okay, now that we're caught up, let's go. Motor, bike it up. Let's go. We have Wakashi special summon itself onto the field. Benki searching for our booster. We're on summon number 1. Equip the booster, special summon the booster. Summon number 2, 5 summons that Nibiru's coming. Excel, Synchro, Stardust Dragon. Summon number 3. We have Wakashi equipping as a pendulum scale. Not really equipping, being set as a pendulum scale. Reborn from the grave. And then our 5th summon, where it's now time to Nibiru, is an Omni Negate. Cannot Nibiru the Baron unless we're okay with being negated. And now we're whipping out the Snake Eye plays. Is that the purpose of the Super Heavy Samurai engine in your deck? Oh, well, it's gone now. Wow. Using Baron to floor? What the heck just happened? We use Baron to floor to summon a Flame Burst from the deck? Okay. You can't send Pendulum Scales to the graveyard. Can't do it. So Baron to floor, wait, maybe we thought we could. Maybe we did not intend to send the Baron to floor. We're like, okay, this is where we send a Pendulum Scale to the graveyard, but that's not legal. You can't do that. Oh boy. You could send a Pendulum Scale from the hands to the grave, but not from the field to the grave. I think that's what happened. Oh boy. But even with that happening, the Flame Burst could have summoned the Baron to floor back on the field during the next turn. Unfortunately, the Flame Burst just got Nibiru'd though. We got Motor, Bike. Now, this is not good. You do not want the Benki as the other Pendulum Scale because now you can't activate the Wakashi. Wakashi can't special summon. But if we have a Super Heavy Samurai, we could then activate the Benki to search our deck. We have Original Sinful, same thing with the Snake Eyes Ash, cannot send the Pendulum Scale to the graveyard. We're going to keep that Baron to floor, which it remembers it was properly summoned. So as soon as we have a way to summon it through the Divine Temple or the Flame Burge, it will be summonable. Why can't you send Pendulum Scales to the graveyard? Because that's their rule. It's just inherently, they go to the extra deck instead. That's just because Konami says so. Get Pendulum Shokanen into Hida. Hida's going to be able to reborn a fire monster from the opponent's graveyard, which there is none. Pendulums are weird like that, true. We have Ghost Spell negating the Flame Burge, which in many circumstances you could have the Flame Burge be chain link blocked from being negated by a Ghost Spell. Something like a Poplar is a good way to chain link block it, but that's okay. We got the Finger for the Bell, negate. As we reborn 2 level 1 fires from the grave, further linking this up into our Promethean Princess. Princess is here, reborning back from the graveyard our Flame Burge, which could summon the Baron to floor onto the field during the next turn only, not during your own turn. Further linking this up into the Ambla Whale, which will now enable the Promethean Princess to pop a card on special summon. So our disruptions here are the Baron to floor and the Promethean Princess, double disruption. But if we could stop the Flame Burst from summoning the Baron to floor, there goes one of the disruptions. But we don't have a way to do so. We activate the Axe of Fools onto a monster, which would be a negate. The Flame Burst would chain to that activation, summoning the Baron to floor anyway. Let's take this in the next duel. Ashoka Pillar is a normal summon, search our deck for an equip spell. Special summoning our Unicorn, activate Come to Us Theosis. Oh my Jesus, Morisaki, what are you doing? Kashtira. So it's worth noting that Theosis is now locking us into Xyz only. No I Sold plays, which normally we would be seeing from Mikanko. This is it. And we were just talking about a Rise Heart. I was not actually expecting it to be summoned, but I guess we'll now see. Banishing a Unicorn from the deck. We got the Terror Top, which is special no, that was normal summoned, actually. Come forth, Torpedo. Torpedo, draw a card. We got full armored Xyz decks in today's tournament. I'm loving it. Randomly drawing into an Ohime. That's a really good draw. Full armored Black Ray Lancer into now an Xyz Armor Fortress. Detach 2 materials, search your deck for 2 cards. We have full armored Xyz and the armored Xyz, which can equip a card in the graveyard. And then we have the Crystal Zero Lancer. Oh my gosh, what the heck is going? How do you have room in your extra deck for this? We still have 10 cards left in the extra deck, that is. Into the full armored Knight Lancer, we're equipping a torpedo onto it. We are then going to be grabbing the full armored Xyz in the graveyard back to our hand. We'll talk about what the torpedo is doing to the Lancer at the end of the turn here. Ohime is searching our deck. So these pillars are just dead, or do we have a way to special summon them? Because we used up our normal summon instead with our Terror Top. We're going to be using this ceremony to send from the deck to the grave the Mikanko Dance, which could reborn a Huli from the graveyard, triggering the Huli to search our deck for a rivalry, which will be giving us the ability to negate a spell or negate a monster or take control of a monster. Now, the torpedo states when it's equipped onto a monster, your opponent cannot target the card with card effects. So untargetable. And then also when the monster battles, all of your opponent's face-up monsters are negated, and they can't activate anything until the end of the damage step. So don't battle into the Lancer, and you can't target it. That's great. And what we really have for disruption here is while the Mikanko cards are completely untargetable, we can banish a face-up card after a monster activation, and then we have the well-rounded negate. So we kind of only have 2 disruptions after all of that. Now, can the full armored Xyz go into a disruptive play? We're gonna see, we'll see. So 2 plus the full armored Xyz. Motorbike, activate, search our deck, grabbing the booster. Now the rivalry will only be able to negate a monster on the field. Banishing a Zeus, 1 of Zeus gone from the deck. A lot of people are playing 2 Zeus because of Unicorn in the TCG. Equipping the booster, then rear on the resolution of a monster effect, banishing a face-up card face down. Full armored Xyzing into an Arise Heart during the opponent's turn. Let's go. Damn. Everything sent to the grave is now banished. Now, the in-grave effect of full armored Xyz is now not going to work because it's banished. Wow. Well. We did have the effect of the Arise Heart to banish any card in the field face down. So we had a Rise Heart banish anything, Rivalry negate pretty much anything, and then we had Fenrir banish a face-up card, about triple disruption there, plus the protection of the Huli being indestructible and making the cards untargetable that are Mikanko cards. Let's hop on the next duel. We have one of our many multiple 1-card starters here. Max C is going to be important to be held on to until the Diablo Star is searched for. So a lot of people would be thinking on the resolution, the ideal use of Max C would in fact be to use it before it's summoned so that you could get that draw before it's summoned because it doesn't activate a special summon, but it plays in a Gamma. Diablo Star, now we're going to be using the Max C. Now, you would be thinking, why not wait for the effect of special summon? Well, the effect of special summon is going to be an original Sinful. I do think that the Maxi was still early. We should have waited on the resolution for after the search, then Maxi, and then they would activate the original Sinful, opening up the field, which would then make you susceptible to Gamma again. So on the resolution, it would have been good. Ending the turn. Now, if we had the trap that negates, that would have been great. We're going to be getting fingered on that Maxi. Call to the grave, negate. Let's go. Now, with the Mikanko Water, we could equip this onto the Diablo Star, returning it back into the deck, but then that opens us up into being played by Gamma. So what do we do there? We're going to make sure to activate all our cards first. Just keep us safe from Gamma, even though a Gamma was discarded. So we may be thinking that Gamma's gone. Is it gone, though? We see that it's not. We have Cashier of Birth with the ability to special summon our Banished Unicorn through the effect of the Rise Heart back in the field, grabbing a Theosis. Oh, we're not using on Diablo Star. We're keeping Diablo Star on the field. Are we really playing around Gamma that well? Marasaki, good job on that. We're going to reflect 2100 damage, attack, banishing the Diablo Star. You didn't activate the Unicorn. You know there's a Gamma. You know there's a Gamma. Oh my gosh. He knows. Not playing into Gamma. He knows. And that is a situation where I believe 90% of players would have somehow played into Gamma. Very well done. Begin. Tor guide into the impermanence. We have cross out designate to negate the impermanence, mate. Just like that. Get out of here. As we now have the Wave King Caesar, which will be able to negate and affect a special summon. Like the Big Welcome. Big Welcome's negated, and it can negate twice in one turn. Per material, it can activate that many times. The Unchained Soul only during the main phase could target a monster to link with it. That's a disruption. And then we have double special summon negate. And then we also have Escape of the Unchained. Pop any card on the field. About 4 disruptions here, possibly 5, and we'll get into the 5th one if we get there, based on how they play this. So the Ariana searching, it's not a special summon, so nothing's activatable here. We're gonna use our Arius to special summon the Lovely. Now, this is a situation because the Wave King Caesar cannot negate the Big Welcome if there's a Lovely on the field. The Lovely's making it so monster effects cannot chain to the Big Welcome. Now, we could, with player priority on the summon to the Lovely, be the first one to activate in response to our own summon before they could even activate a card like the Escape of the Unchained, or activate the Soul of Rage. Soul of Rage here is probably a good idea, but you know, we could just chain to the Soul of Rage, which we then can't chain to the Soul of Rage. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this is correct. We got to get rid of that Lovely, and while the Lovely's protecting the Big Welcome, this is when you want to activate it. Special summon for the deck, return back the Lovely. Now we can activate the High King Caesar again to negate a special summon, but nothing special summoning. Well, actually, the Ariane has the effect to special summon the Lovely back in the field, but it's chain link blocked. Arius is special summoning from the graveyard because you used a Maxi in response to the activation of a Labyrinth card, summoning itself back onto the field before the Maxi resolves. Properly chain link block to get that Lovely back out on the field. Well, do we want to special summon under Maxi? We're still doing it. Ain't no way. Escape of the Unchained, popping that Lovely before it activates to grab a trap from the graveyard to set it back onto the field. Now, because a card you control was destroyed, the Yama's going to trigger to reborn from the graveyard any fiend. This is why a deck like Labyrinth itself could play Yama to reborn your Lovely, reborn your Lady, and then you could optionally pop a card you control after summoning. And the Unchained Soul Shavara is setting from the deck here. So we're going to summon the Sarama, add back the Shavara. Well, the Shavara, if it was sent to the graveyard, it would set from the deck, and that's what would happen if the Wave King Caesar negates. So we're activating an effect right now to special summon, which the Wave King Caesar could detach the Shavara to negate. What are you doing, mate? Well, we're getting the transaction rollback into the graveyard. Now, can Wave King Caesar negate the transaction rollback? No. And it's pretty much activating an effect to special summon, but the effect is actually to copy an effect, not the effect to special summon. But even if it was an effect to special summon, it still cannot negate because the Caesar can only negate a card and not the effect of the card unless the card is a monster. Do you understand all that? Thank you. All right, Lovely's back in the field for a 3rd freaking time. You are negated, and you're also destroyed, but because you weren't where you originally were on the activation, we can't destroy you because you're in your hand now. Shavara being triggered to set from the deck. Now, this is where that extra secret disruptive play comes into play, which by popping an Unchained card during the opponent's turn, we could summon an Abominable Unchained, which on summon will get rid of that Lovely again. Got to get rid of that Lovely. But, yeah, it left so it's activated. So far, we are stopping the Lovely from being able to add a card in the graveyard back into the field face down. It is triggering to pop a card in the field or in the hand right now. Taking out the Wave King Caesar. And now, let's get triggering. Now, the High King Caesar is going to be searching for a DD contract here. Not, you know, it's pretty decent. It can be discarded with Unicorn if you want during the opponent's turn. That is our Abominable Unchained Soul wiping out Lovely again. Lovely was never able to reset a normal trap from the graveyard. We now have Chaos Angel on summon, banish a card on the field, off the field you go. Abominable Unchained is generally a 1-of, so it's gone. Now Muckraker can reborn the Chaos Angel, banishing again. And what are you doing, G? We are under Maxi, you understand that. And I don't see you going into lethal damage here. You're gonna banish again, but you're out. You've lost your mind. And now we got a Nibiru. What the heck are you doing? That was not for game. I think we gave up and we're just like, let's have fun with this duel. Sure. Because why would we special summon that many times under Max C? Unchained Shayama, that is. Yama, Shavara, Shayama, Aruha, Sarama, Rakea. It's a lot of names to get through. Now, the Shayama does have the ability to non-target pop a back row card in the field, which it did by popping a card you control. To battle we go. 4,000 life points. Lethal damage. Very nicely done. Good job to both of you. I wish I could have seen the full match here. Unfortunately, we just had game 3.